Sohail is joining us from the historic Durbar Square, and that is in central Kathmandu, to tell us what's going on exactly behind you, Sohail. And also, let me ask you about some of the aids that we are hearing now is getting into Nepal. Where exactly is it going? Who needs it the most?
Indeed, Doreen, what you do see behind me is one of the many palaces and temples in Durbar Square. It is one of the focal points for any visitor coming to Kathmandu to come here and see those historic sites. It's a UNESCO World Heritage location. You can hear the siren of one of the emergency services vehicles coming past us right now. They've been periodically coming through to Durbar Square because as we speak there is an ongoing rescue operation. And when I say rescue operation, we have lots of foreign rescue and recovery personnel here who are sifting through the rubble to see if there is anybody still alive. This is still a rescue operation for the moment. It will be for the first 72 hours. So what you have here is not only just the residents coming to see those rescue operations that are all being cordoned off by the security services, but also residents of Kathmandu who themselves have been made homeless or decided not to stay in their homes for fear of another earthquake and set up temporary home in the streets and the roads. People have come to see what's going on because most of the infrastructure within the city has come to a complete standstill. Said so, the devastation we're talking about is very much of the historical, the old brick wooden buildings that form part of the tourist infrastructure here. If you go around the wider part of Kathmandu, the concrete structures are still standing.
Sohail, and we're hearing the death toll now is at least 3,200 people. This will most likely rise as that relief efforts continue, not only in Kathmandu, but outside as well.
Yes, you did mention that figure. We expect that figure, and some government figures have already suggested that the figure will top 4,000 by the end of the day, but they're not confirming that yet. And most of those numbers have come from the Kathmandu Valley. Of course, it is a global valley, dips quite deep, and of course that's where most of the fatalities have occurred so far. We are expecting that number to rise dramatically as we get into the countryside, into the villages that have been unable to report their injuries and deaths. And yes, you're right, the aid effort is stepping up. You mentioned it in your first question. We've seen India and Pakistan coming to the forefront. They're two countries that have had a lot of experience in this sort of catastrophe. But when I arrived early in the morning here, I saw military aircraft from China and also from Japan as well as Sri Lanka. So regional efforts very much focused in on trying to get into Kathmandu Airport. It is a very small airport and therefore they're making the priority military aircraft with rescue personnel, but also trying to get civilian NGOs in as well. Has to be said, I was talking to a senior Dutch diplomat who's part of the combined European Union effort. He's organising and trying to sort out a large contingent of Dutch rescue and recovery personnel, 4 teams of 10, which include rescue dogs, sniffer dogs that will be sent around the region, and a backup team of 20. So the Dutch sending 100, that's just part of what the European Union is sending in. So they are ramping up their efforts slowly, Doreen, as they can get access. But we had 4 large aftershocks overnight and into this morning as well. Tremors that make people nervous, tremors that make the international airport the only real viable focus and location for people to come in and out of this country comes to a stop when there's an earthquake.
Okay, Sohail, thank you for that update. Sohail Rahman reporting from Kathmandu.